Welcome to Fighting Over Fiction. I'm Will.
I'm Tash.
And I'm Fraz.
And today we're asking, does Top Gun Maverick prove that a sequel can be as good or better than the original?
Finish her! Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How is everybody?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Swimmingly.
Yeah, we're bouncy today. Why are we
You're
so
quite
bouncy?
I don't know.
The
Energy.
sun's out. Yeah, it's a spring has sprung.
Vitamin D overdose. Straight up.
Vitamin D overdose.
Yeah.
Can you overdose on vitamin D?
Yeah, can you have too much vitamin D? Let's never find that out. How are you both? What have you been watching this week?
I have been watching Letterboxd Top 100 films.
Oh, yes, you
Starting from
have.
100.
You started off by watching all of the episodes of The Simpsons. Got 2 episodes in and went, do you know what, actually?
No, I'm now 3 episodes in, actually.
Oh, so
I watched Homer's Odyssey the other day.
So you are still trying to do
I
your
am
Simpsons
still doing
thing,
Simpsons as well.
as well as the top 100 Letterboxd movies.
Films.
Is this
Yeah.
rated by the folks on Letterboxd?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is based on ratings on Letterboxd. My most recent watch was Inglourious Bastards.
Oh.
Which is number 98 on the list.
And that 98 is in like the 98th best film.
Yeah, the 98th best film.
What's the number 1 film? Do you know? Have you seen it?
It's a Japanese film called Hiri something.
Oh, yes, I think I know what you're talking about.
That's number 1.
Is it an anime?
It's not. No, it's live action.
Oh,
I think.
Sweet. Will, what have you been watching?
I'm so sorry. I've just been watching Stargate and Smiling Friends still.
That's okay. You don't need to apologise.
I feel like I do. I feel like I should be enriching myself somewhat. But you know what? Some of those acid cartoons, they just hit the spot. They hit the spot.
Fair. I have been following a similar project to you, Tash. So I've been watching loads and loads of films. I had an idea the other day, and I was like, I wonder how often the Oscars Best Picture film also got Best Screenplay, original or adapted, because, the best film should be the best writing, surely. And then I wonder how often the best film or best screenplay was also the most popular on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb. And it turns out that, no. So I made a list of the best film, best screenplay, best adapted screenplay, highest on IMDb and highest on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm watching all of them to find out which one I like the best. See if there's a pattern. I tend to like the best adapted screenplay, or I tend to like the Rotten Tomatoes film. So that's been interesting. I'm focusing on the last decade.
Have you noticed any patterns yet?
Not yet. Often, quite a lot, one of the screenplays is also the best film. Often. The best film was very, very rarely the highest rated on either of the 2 platforms. I think the only instance where that happened is Parasite, which is a masterpiece.
So let's talk about Top Gun. Tom Cruise insisted on real in-flight filming. Actors were actually inside fighter jets, not just using green screens. The film was released 36 years after Top Gun, making it one of the longest gaps between an original and its sequel. It became the highest-grossing film of Tom Cruise's entire career. The actors underwent intensive aviation training to handle the physical strain of high speed. The movie was delayed multiple times, including during COVID, because the team wanted it released in cinemas, not straight to streaming.
Yeah, that was a very, very good decision.
Yes.
Yeah, this is for sure a cinema movie. Yeah, I mean, did you know that Tom Cruise does his own stunts? Has anyone ever said that in a public
Really?
Really?
What?
No,
Gosh.
yeah, he's that. Will, this was not your first time watching Top Gun Maverick.
It was not, no.
You have seen Top Gun.
I saw it in the cinema, not the original, obviously, but the
You saw Maverick
sequel.
at the cinema?
Yeah.
And you have seen the original Top Gun.
I have,
as
yeah,
well.
a few times, yeah.
Fantastic. I am the same as you. It's exactly the same story. Tash, this was your first time
This is my first time Top Gunning.
in the Top Gun verse.
In the Top Gun verse.
Yeah.
My first outing.
Can I suggest that from now on, Top Gun is the original and Maverick is the sequel?
Absolutely. It
Just
makes
for-
it easier.
Sure.
Yeah. Will, how did you find Top Gun? How did you find Maverick? What's your relationship with these Tom Cruise classics?
I prefer calling it the Top Gun verse now.
The Top
I
Gun
like to
verse.
imagine there's like a Comic-Con somewhere where there's just like a corner of everyone dressed up in the little flight suits and stuff.
There's a universe where Iceman is played by Meg Ryan.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go into it. Fine. My relationship... I've watched the original a few times. I've always thought it was a good movie. It's never been my favourite movie. It's definitely been up, it would be my Letterboxd top 100, sure. Yeah, kind of not overly into it. It's good. It's just fun.
I think Top Gun is one of those movies where you forget, much like in like Jaws, like this was the OG Top Gun. It was the first movie of its kind to really like break into the blockbuster category.
Yes.
They described Top Gun as being like a music video almost, and I think Top Gun is one of those films where it's not dated because of the way they filmed it. There's not a lot of CGI in it, so it still stands up today. And a lot of the tropes that we get, and a lot of the things we make fun of in action movies, is because Top Gun did it first.
I think that's probably my issue with it. Is I would semi-disagree with it being dated. There are some parts of it I go, oh, I could really kind of just do without this. But I wonder if it is just because it has been used as a trope almost then throughout the last 20, 30 years.
When I say dated, I mean like visually, like effects-wise.
Oh, God, yeah, not at all. Yeah, sure, no,
it is definitely of its time, don't get me wrong, yeah.
It's like, hold on a moment.
And Maverick, I went to the cinema to see Maverick, and I was slightly dubious about going.
Sure.
Jen is a big Tom Cruise fan, but had never seen Top Gun, so I was like, right, you gotta watch Top Gun. And she described it as it's essentially gay soft porn, isn't it? Top Gun,
yeah.
So I was like, this is a good crossover. I like Top Gun, you like Tom Cruise, let's go and see it. And I was absolutely fucking blown away by Maverick in the cinema. I'm happy to say that this movie pretty much reignited my love of cinema and films.
Wow, okay.
Like, it was that powerful. I've got a little, if you'll allow me a small anecdote of my life in cinema.
Go for it.
I first went to the cinema in 1994. My mum took me to see The Lion King, which I think we can all agree is...
Maybe you peaked too soon.
Well, you say that, but then when you think about the list that came afterwards, like the movies that I really remember seeing in the cinema, Toy Story, Space Jam, Shrek, absolute classics. Then when I started going to cinema on my own, like X-Men came out. I was a massive X-Men fan. X-Men was amazing. The Star Wars prequels came out, which we can talk about, but at the time was incredible. Then the Batman, the Nolan trilogy, I was always an OG Batman fan. And then Iron Man came out, which everyone was surprised at how good Iron Man was. And then Marvel happened. And 22 movies later, I was so sick of the cinema.
It feels like it's more than 22 as well.
Well, it is. That's just the Infinity Saga.
Oh my days.
And then, the prices went up, and, the original ABC cinemas died, and we were all at the Odeon. And then Mad Max Fury Road came out in 2015, which I went to see at the cinema, and I was like, I'm fucking done. I cannot sit through this shit anymore. But one more time I was dragged to the cinema, and I paid £36.
Sorry?
For 2 tickets, sorry. £36.
Still a lot.
It is extremely,
You're taking the whole class for that.
For Avengers Endgame, which is one of the most predictable paint-by-numbers film I've ever seen in my life. Literally walked into the movie knowing exactly what was going to happen because they telegraphed it so obviously, and I was like, I am done. I'm done paying through the nose for this absolute, like, cliched nonsense. These are kids' films that we're paying adult prices for. Like, where is the good cinema? And then Top Gun Maverick happened. And I was like, this is what cinema is for. Like, an absolute... I heard it described as like a great pro wrestling match. Like, you kind of know that it's fake, and you know that it's nonsense, and the costumes are silly, and the performances are over the top, but like your heart is pumping, and when the fighter jets like go through the Dolby 8.7 surround sound, you're like, ah! Yeah. And ever since Maverick, I have started going to the cinema again, and I've gone, do you know what? Just because you think it's going to be rubbish, it doesn't mean it's going to be. As long as it's not made by Marvel, you might be You might be in for a thrill ride. So from that, Tash,
Hi.
how did you find Top Gun Maverick?
It's visually stunning.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Come on, Tash.
It's a cliche mess.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it all before. I found it quite boring. Yeah, I mean, I Will could probably vouch for this. I guessed what was going to happen about every 5 minutes. I was like, that's going to happen now, and it happened. That's going to happen now. So I just thought I was just bored. I very much appreciated how visually stunning it was, though. I thought it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's
like,
a beautifully
done.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. Apart from that, the story was shocking.
That's interesting. We talk about like it being cliched and being predictable. Do you not find that with every film?
No.
Do you not find every film predictable?
No.
Okay, that's interesting. I find it with most films. I mean, particularly action films. Action films are all essentially the same. And horror films are essentially all the same. And a lot of comedies are essentially all the same.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be a pinnacle, and there has to be one that's the best. Are there any action films that you really, really like?
Born Identity.
And do you not find that predictable? I'm not trying to catch you out here.
No, I don't actually.
Okay.
I don't find that predictable. I think for me, I need character depth. I don't feel there was enough here, and I have come into this from a kind of completely blind perspective. I've not seen the original Top Gun, so I was coming into this going, right, does this stack up on its own? How does this stack up with me meeting these characters for the first time? Because you do need an element of that if you're trying to appeal to a mass audience. Not everyone is going to have seen your original. So you do need to put a few breadcrumbs in there. But I did do some reading up on the original, so I did know what happened, so I could relate to that. But there was not enough character depth for me. It was all a bit surface level and fake, and the romantic relationship bleh.
Does Top Gun Maverick deepen the story of Top Gun?
Well, Tash, you can't answer this question because you didn't see.
I didn't see the
Top
original,
Gun.
no.
So, Will, would you like to answer your own question?
Why not? I think yes. But I'm kind of a slight tangent. The original film had a perfect start and a finish to it. I don't feel it needed a sequel. There's a difference between kind of a need and a want, because come on, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. But I feel like Maverick has kind of found its own place in there, and by doing so, it has kind of added. It has deepened the original one, but you could live without it almost. It's kind of a strange relationship between them.
So I kind of disagree. I don't think it deepens the story in any way, shape, or form. I think it essentially tells the exact same story as the original. I think the reason why you didn't connect with the characters, Tash, is because they were the same characters from the first movie. And if you've seen the first movie, you go, oh, right, that's meant to be Iceman, and like that's meant to be Goose. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Like I am a fan of reboots, and I'm a fan of pointless sequels. I don't like this whole rhetoric we have now. Why isn't people making original stories? Because there aren't any original stories anymore. Like there hasn't been an original story since like the mid 1400s. Force Awakens is just A New Hope. Jurassic World is just Jurassic Park. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is just insert Indiana Jones here. Batman Begins tells the same Batman story we've heard 1,000 times, but they're all fucking brilliant. It's like hearing Michael Jackson cover the Beatles or anyone cover any Bob Dylan song. It gives us a new way to enjoy something that we love. It gives the characters another outing, and it gives the story an opportunity to correct any like previous missteps. Like it can cover up plot holes or like problematic features of the time is often one. There are no original stories, and sometimes it's okay to just own it and go, nope, we're doing it 40 years later, and it's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be great.
I think it adds an extra layer to the usual argument we have around whether a good movie is an entertaining movie, because I think you can have, is a good movie an entertaining movie, or does it need to be artistic and or original? And I think you're right. This is just a sports movie, so it's just a rehash on that, isn't it? It
is 100% a sports movie, and I think maybe that's why I like this, because I'm not a mindless action film fan. I don't like them, Tash. I'm normally with you. I'm normally this is predictable. This is boring, but this isn't an action movie. It's a sports movie.
because we had this discussion the other day, and I think we were originally kind of going, one person was saying it wasn't, and one person was saying it was. And I was really then having a think on it, and it was usually there's an underdog in it, which I think is then where it kind of the contention came to. But he's almost the underdog because he's seen as like old and spent almost, and all his friends are either dying or they've given up. So he's kind of like, they just see him as kind of like a loose part they're trying to put in the bin, and that sort of makes him the underdog in a way.
Well, I think the thing is, because he trounces them over and over again, the underdog is very much the young ones, which is a weird flip on the classic, on the trope. But then on the last our last act of the movie, if you want, after they crash like behind enemy lines, they're in the old fighter jet. So then they become the underdog and they flip it again. I just really, really enjoy this film.
I mean, is it then an original take on a sports movie, as Knight's Tale was? Because you've then flipped it in a way.
It's better than Knight's Tale. Sorry, Knight's Tale is a rom-com. We've done this.
I might jump over this table and throttle you.
Hey. Tash is the bad guy today, not me.
Hang on, yeah. Are modern filmmaking techniques the real reason the sequel feels better?
The modern filmmaking techniques, the only thing that redeems this movie in any way.
Wow, and that is scathing.
As I said at the beginning, like, I think the filmmaking techniques are stunning. The fact they used real fighter jets, there was no kind of CGI where it wasn't needed. As me, well, at ex-air cadets, I can very much appreciate the planes. That's amazing. Great.
Have you been in planes?
Yes.
Have you been in planes
I've
that
flown
fast?
A plane. Not that fast.
You've flown a plane?
Yeah.
How is this the first I'm hearing about this?
Yeah, you've flown a plane as well.
You've flown a plane?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Guys, we need to get you back in planes. We need to get you back your wings.
But no, I've never been in a fighter jet. But I can very much appreciate all of that. And I think the cinematography was beautiful. I applaud the cinematographer and the director for that.
And the sound.
And the sound. It won best sound at the Oscars in 2023, wasn't it?
That's a high bar you're not reaching.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was amazing. Sound was stunning. Apart from that, it's the modern filmmaking techniques that make this film. And without them, it would be in the bin.
I think. You might be right there. If I'm perfectly honest, Will, you brought up the entertaining versus quality thing in the last question, and this was one of these movies where I'm watching it going, do you know what, I am just entertained. And I think with certain movies you can choose to be entertained by it, or you can that's not true. You can choose to pick it apart and you'll be less entertained. However, it has to entertain you first.
Yeah.
I could rewatch this movie with a different eye and go, this is absolute trash. I'm sure I could. However, I settled into it, and there are very few films. So normally when I watch a film, I'll pause it, go make a cup of tea. Someone will start talking to me and I'll start talking to them back. Whereas this movie, I was watching it with Jen and with Marlo, and both of them got up and did other things. I was like, I'm staying here, guys.
I'm staying right here.
Yeah. Now, to answer the question, though, I think everyone says that this film is better than the original, and I think that's an interesting question.
Okay.
Because I think Top Gun is a great film. It was very much the first movie of its kind. Like I said, Maverick is better shot. But I think what Top Gun also has is the very heavily felt tragedy when Goose dies. That is a big part of the film, and I think that's what Maverick is missing. It kind of borrows from Top Gun in order to try and get us emotionally invested. And if you haven't seen Top Gun, you don't have that. I remember when Goose died, I was like, oh my God, it is heartbreaking. It is a guy's best friend. It is a father. It is a husband. It is a true tragedy. And of a film of this kind, to kill off your good-looking support role halfway through the film, it's completely unheard of. He doesn't die heroically or anything. It's an accident. It's a really tragic part of the movie, and I think that's what Maverick misses. So I actually think Top Gun is a better film. Tash, I'd urge you to watch it as well, purely because I think it is a better story. It's also not a story about Maverick is big bad guys, nuclear weapons, world's gonna end unless we do this impossible mission. It's Mission Impossible sports movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Top Gun isn't that. it's just about these guys and their egos. It's not about like a massive mission. It's not about saving the world. It's just about it's about friendships, and it's about putting your differences aside and after tragedy. I think it's a much deeper story. Will, what do you think's better?
I really prefer Maverick, and I think that's mainly because I am down to a sucker for kind of visuals and stuff. I just think the angles in those cockpits were just absolutely insane, just absolutely mind blowing. And it's weird to think about because you obviously see that kind of thing on TV all the time or in games or whatever. There's just something about this film that is just mind-boggling, and I can't even quite put my finger on it, and that's what makes it nicer in a way as well.
I think maybe I can put my finger on it, because you said you see this thing all the time in film, and I don't think you do. I think the reason that it hits so hard is because the reactions of the actors are genuine. This isn't them like trying to pretend to be under 9Gs or whatever. They are fucking terrified, and they're in physical pain, and they are exhausted, and you can see that in their performances. Like, you are sold in these cockpit scenes. It's wonderful.
I think you're right as well. I think it kind of circling back to what you said before, is a similar story to the first one, but I feel like it is a very different kind of there's a very different flavour of it. So they are almost two different films in a way. I feel the more I think about these films, the more they actually separate out, and then the more I'm kind of then always confused about them. I think this one is a lot cleaner. It's a lot slicker, but not kind of in a slimy way. The original, I think you're right, is more of a friendship and testosterone extreme. Yeah.
This film was much higher stakes. Maverick is very high stakes, low emotion, whereas Top Gun is low stakes and high emotion, but with the same characters.
I don't know. Again, on those kind of early scenes where Tom Cruise is outside the bar and he's having that realization, that really hit home. So I don't know if it's necessarily kind of less emotion. And to be honest, the kind of the higher stakes of it, I think I actually couldn't care any less about. Do you know what? It could have been a whole training exercise the whole time. It wouldn't have even mattered that they were fighting anyone in the end. It's just the build up to it. Again, sports movie.
Yeah, the Great Balls of Fire scene is great. I think.
Yes,
and I think that's when you see Tom Cruise actually do acting, and I think it's a shame really that we don't.
He only acts in a Top Gun film, and that's where it stops.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly have a Tom Cruise discussion at the end of this, maybe. But I think that's where you need to have seen the first film to appreciate the emotional depth of the characters, because, like I say, Maverick does borrow that from Top Gun. It doesn't create its own. It just says, "Remember when this happened? We're still talking about it."
Is the success of Top Gun Maverick driven more by nostalgia than originality?
So my notes here, guys, you'll see it says, nostalgia, see Appendix 1.
I've read this appendix.
Yes.
It's very, very comprehensive.
It is, but there's only a few things that we really need to learn about Top Gun. So Top Gun grossed $1.5 billion at the box office, which is an absolutely insane amount of money. It is more than June and June 2 managed to gross, even though Maverick cost less than either of them to make. 150 million people worldwide went to the cinema to see this film. But the really interesting thing about the people that went is 22% of the audience in the opening weeks were people that had stopped going to the cinema. I've mentioned myself in that as well. And
That's very impressive.
I found it really interesting reading this, because this was the movie that took a lot of people back to the cinema. And I think when we're in an age where we're talking about the death of cinema and the death of movie making, and Tash, as much as I can completely agree with your point of view that this is, predictable action movie cliche, I think sometimes you just need to get people back in the theatres, because once you go back, you go, this is actually really fun. What else is on? 11% of the audiences were repeat flyers. So not only did people go to see this movie, they went back and they saw it again, which is
why?
I think because it was an enjoyable experience is why. And also the majority were the over 35s and the over 55s went to see this movie, which is absolute proof that this is a nostalgia driven, oh my god, Top Gun is back, let's go watch it in the cinema movie. And I'd be interesting to see those figures for something like the first Star Wars prequel, which I always forget the name of that.
Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace. I was going to say Darth Maul Rises. I reckon most of the people that went to see The Phantom Menace are probably like that similar sort of bracket.
100%.
Yeah, nostalgia driven, and a massive success, that movie. You could look back at it now and we can question it, but as much as I enjoyed this movie and as much as you didn't enjoy this movie, Tash, I think movies are meant to be nostalgic. I think they're meant to like stir emotions and ignite your imagination and they should make you feel like a kid, and I think if you've seen the original, it makes you feel like a kid again. You should want to watch them again and again, and in decades after, you should want them to make a reboot of it. Like, cinema was made for movies like this. It was made for Top Gun, and it was made for Maverick. And again, I keep saying this as much as I agree with you, Tash, and I do. I do agree with you. But can you at least give it its props for the numbers it hit up and the amount of people it brought back to the cinema?
I can.
Yeah.
Don't mean it good.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fair.
It was amazing. I'm not going to deny it was amazing for cinema. 100%. But I just... I
also went to see this film. So I went to see this film in a very small cinema as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is another completely different environment, because I find the big cinemas quite cold, like physically they're cold. Whereas this one had I was quite close to the screen. It was really in my face. Like, the planes went by and you had to turn your head to watch them go. Yeah, it really felt like you were in it. Will, was this a nostalgia-driven machine?
I think yes, it was. I think some of the parts I potentially didn't like were nostalgic as well. I feel like some of the bits that kind of came off a bit... uncomfortable is the wrong word, but it kind of just didn't kind of align up very well with the rest of the film, were the ones I kind of think were more nods than anything. When he's first turns up at the bar, that's fine kind of to start with, but then I do feel like that kind of stretched on just a little bit too long. I also think it kind of gave some nods back to the original film and tried to kind of play on the same, I guess what we now see as tropes, because they've been done so much. But it kind of tries to do them, but then forget that has been done already 100,000 times over the last 20 or 30 years. So the one I actually wrote down was, whoa, he put the manual book in the bin. Yeah. It's like, oh, God. It's like, you must have been able to do something else with that,
So I remember that moment in the cinema when he went up there and me and Jen leant to each other. We said, I bet he throws that in the bin. And Tash, was that the moment when you went, nah?
Yeah, I think it was, and I just guessed everything at every turn, and it was just While we're on the nostalgia, train, the Val Kilmer scene. How do we feel about Val? Do we know the story behind Val Kilmer? So Val Kilmer was in the original Top Gun. Tash. Yeah. He was the hangman character. He was called Iceman. He was the foil to Maverick. He was the other cocky top pilot, the number 2 sort of thing. And then also in the film, he's got throat cancer and he can't speak. And of course, Val Kilmer himself was going through the same sort of thing. And I think that this, I think as much as this scene really took me out of the film, it also felt a lot like Val Kilmer saying goodbye to the screen and Tom Cruise saying goodbye to Val Kilmer. I found it a really, really very real scene. See, I disagree. I feel like it missed an opportunity.
Okay.
It wasn't emotional enough for me. I didn't, and again, maybe it's because I don't have the initial connection to the characters in the original, but I was watching it going, oh, there's more there. No, you're not going to go. Okay, you're not going to go there. Okay, he's gone.
Yeah, I think that may have been limited to what Val Kilmer was able to do at the time.
I think the dialogue was very cliche and very stuff that you just heard in films before. Then it's time to let go, and I'm thinking, you could have worded that in a different way, or
he was typing it, Tash.
I know he was, but again, that's the writing. That's not Val Kilmer. That's the writing.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think his emotion in that was brilliant. You could definitely see what was going on, and it's it's obviously incredibly hard to act just with your face a lot of the time, and you could see all the emotion coming from there. But I think it was that the performances were just let down by the lazy writing.
Fair.
For anyone screaming at either their radio or their phone, as Tash has said this, one of the notes I did make for this film, where I feel I have to read, is easily the most insufferable Tash has been ever during a film.
I wasn't insufferable.
The most insufferable Tash has ever been whilst watching it. Is Tash often insufferable while
No,
watching
not at
the
all.
film? Oh, okay.
No. I feel like even when they're kind of not to her taste, you go, I can appreciate the artistry of it. I can appreciate the blockbuster of it. But when it's a mix between, I think, this kind of movie and what she would call as too much testosterone, I feel like that's a dangerous crossover.
Sorry, it was too much testosterone.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch the original Top
No.
Gun in that case.
I think you would like it more, though, weirdly, than Maverick.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
You have to
I'm very
understand.
open.
You have to understand the 80s of it. Okay, so you just said I'm very open, and that's
Yeah.
actually what I was going to ask you next. Did you go into this movie having any expectation to like it?
No, like I went in very openly, but I rolled my eyes very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. See, I went into this movie the first time I watched it at the cinema expecting not to like it, and being like, sometimes you watch a film and like you go, oh, I bet he's going to throw that in the bin. Yeah, he threw it in the bin. You go, oh, what? He's going to do a barrel roll. Oh, yeah, he did a barrel roll. And you kind of, you predict it all the way through and you roll your eyes at it and you come out and you go, that was fucking brilliant. I love that so much.
Yes.
Like, it's like we talk about the McDonald's of movies.
Yeah.
Like the other night, Jen went to McDonald's on the way back from the theatre, and she was like, I'm going to McDonald's. Do you want anything? I was like, can you bring me a box of 20 chicken nuggets, please? And I just sat there at midnight and ate 20 chicken nuggets. It wasn't great, but I knew exactly what I was getting, and I fucking loved it. Top Gun Maverick is 20 chicken nuggets.
It's exactly that. Yeah. Same with all the quotes. I've got to read another one. I can go as low as you, and that's saying something. I've got loads of these. So, is Tom Cruise the greatest movie star of all time?
The goat. I hate people that say goat.
I love goats. I don't want to mix the two up for some reason.
Sure.
Just goats and
Okay. The greatest movie star of all time is Tom Cruise. I mean, the numbers are very hard to argue with, aren't they? Like
They are. He's done well.
He's done well. He's done all right, isn't
right.
he? Little
He's
Tom
done
Cruise,
right.
the cocktail guy.
Yeah, the cocktail
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to maybe question what movie star is. Because is a movie star someone like? Do you remember when The Rock was the highest paid actor in Hollywood, and that was like a massive statistic? And The Rock is a terrible, terrible actor who's only in terrible, terrible films.
Hold on, he was in a Star Trek episode, and he was pretty good in that.
Yeah, he was good in that Star Trek episode.
That's not a film.
I'm trying to redeem him somehow.
He was all right in Moana. He was an animated character in Moana.
Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate The Rock for what The Rock is. Like, I was a The Rock fan before he was Dwayne Johnson The Rock, you know. Well, I remember Rocky Maivia from 1999, who you guys will not know what that means.
No, not at all.
No, that's a wrestling thing. But what are we talking about? Tom Cruise. So is a movie star someone who like everyone can recognize and makes the most money out of films? Or is a movie star someone who makes like the best films ever? Like I would throw like Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, is almost as big a movie star as Tom Cruise in terms of how recognizable he is and how like critically acclaimed he is. But he's in a very different sort of movie, isn't he? Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor.
Yes. I think Tom Cruise, I think I would define movie star as someone who's recognisable and has made a load of cash.
Okay.
Doing it. I wouldn't say, for me, a movie star isn't someone who's the most accomplished at their craft.
Sure. I mean, Tom Cruise made $100 million off of Maverick alone.
Insane.
Can I throw Tom Hanks at you?
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Is Tom Hanks a bigger movie star than Tom Cruise? Does your name have to be Tom in order to be a movie
Quick,
star?
change your name. See, I'd say Tom Hanks is a much more accomplished actor.
Sure.
Like he's just one of the greatest actors out there.
I think Tom Hanks is more quotable than Tom Cruise as well.
I think so, yeah.
I think Tom Cruise has made most of his money and fame through Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And like running from explosion movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen Vanilla Sky, Tash?
No.
Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No.
Have you seen Jerry Maguire?
No.
Okay, so those are 3 movies I think you need to watch before you can judge Tom Cruise as an actor. These are movies that came, I believe, before the Oprah, the
Yeah.
him jumping off on the couch thing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe after the whole like Scientology thing came out and all those controversies, I think he only went into Tom Cruise films after that. And I wonder if that's by choice. Like he's like, nah, I run away from explosions. Or if he can't get acting jobs because people won't take him seriously because he's Tom Cruise. Will, is Tom Cruise the greatest movie star of all time?
I don't even think you have to answer it specifically on Tom Cruise. I think it's, do you judge the greatest movie star by someone who is well known or someone who has been in so many accomplished movies or just someone who makes the most money? I think it's really hard to kind of define between the three of them. I think there probably is a mix, like a blend of all three. Do you know what? In either of the three categories, yeah, I mean, he is at least in the top three, if not the number one for them.
Sure. I suppose the operative word here is star, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not saying the best movie actor.
Yeah.
We're not saying the greatest films. We're saying the biggest movie star. And I suppose that means, yeah, you're right, Tash, it's recognisable and it makes the most cash. And there are very, very few people other than The Rock who's more rocky. And we're not talking about The Rock being the greatest movie star of all time. Like,
no,
it's just not happening.
So, does Top Gun Maverick prove that a sequel can be as good or better than the original?
Yes, it does. Will?
Yeah, it does.
Tash. Now, Tash.
I can't really answer it, to be fair.
Well, you have to answer it.
I have to answer it.
Answer the question. Does Top Gun Maverick prove that a sequel can be as good or better than the original? You've never seen the original.
So it proves it because of the money it made.
There you go, then. Then we can all agree that Top Gun Maverick is one of the greatest films of all time.
No, that's what I heard as well.
The greatest movie star of all time.
Well, that's no on both
I can't believe we settled something so succinctly on this podcast.
We did, didn't we?
Wonderful. What are you lovely people watching this week?
I am watching Rear Window, which is the next on the list.
Have you
of
seen Rear
Alfred
Window?
Hitchcock. Not yet. No,
So
that's my next
good.
on my list.
I love Rear
Hitchcock
Window.
film.
Will, what are you watching?
I
my
feel
friend?
too scared to answer.
Are you watching more rubbish?
I probably am. Well, I don't know if I could call Stargate rubbish, though. It just sings to my soul. I bought the 55 DVD collection of Stargate. I already got them in every single format and already on DVD, but I want 55 of them where they all kind of match up in that nice, pretty pattern when they're all next to each other.
Unless you're watching one.
Oh, God. Yeah, but I won't watch it because I'll just watch it digitally on Netflix.
He wants
instead.
to make a shelf and display them.
I feel like I've fallen into a bit of a... I feel like I've fallen into a bit of a tism trap with it at the moment.
Mhm.
I'm kind of just a bit too locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I think lean into it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because like weighted blankets.
Got one, love it.
Yeah, tism traps are essentially just like big cuddles, I think, and it's only when you fight them that they become. I don't know how to finish the sentence.
Let Teal'c give you a big cuddle.
Oh, there we go. That's how we finish it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm continuing my movie watch this week, and we're going to continue watching The Boys and The Testaments and The Pit, and we're watching Fleabag as well for.
Oh yes, we've got to watch
next
Fleabag
podcast.
for next week.
God.
So I might need to take a week off work actually.
Let's do it.
Right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.